Stay tuned and let's check out this brand new Marvel Legends, Marvel Studios The Infinity Saga, Thor. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today, we continue to look at these brand new Marvel Legends, Marvel Studios The Infinity Saga line of figures. And today we have Thor, a character design that we definitely needed to complete our big three from that final battle of Endgame. We got Bro Thor as the Build-A-Figure, but let's be honest, this is the Thor we wanted from that movie. Well, it's the Thor I wanted anyway. With the brand new Mark 85 that we're getting in this same Infinity Saga lineup to go along with our worthy cap, then this should make a very nice big three for the shelf. So we are getting both Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, interchangeable hands, some lightning effects, and once again, I do very much like this Infinity Saga packaging. It's simple, but it's smart, it's slick, I like it. On the side of the box, we're getting images from all the different characters throughout the Infinity Saga. On the back, we're getting a poster of Avengers Endgame, as well as a little write-off of Thor that reads, "Armed with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, the son of Odin steps onto the battlefield to face Thanos one final time." So yeah, very nice. There we get Avengers Endgame on the top, Thor, nothing much more on the bottom. Massive shout out to Rich M as he managed to track this down. Again, these are not out in the UK yet. I've been getting mine from all over the place, but I'm borrowing Rich M's for this particular review. So shout out to Displayed Once on Instagram. Go and follow him, links in the description. But let's get Thor open. So here we have Thor out of the packaging with all of his accessories, and first impressions, this guy looks great, honestly, completely pinless by the looks of it, and it's definitely my mind's eye version of Thor from that final battle in Endgame, the one that I wanted for my display. My only gripe, if it is a gripe, is that we're constantly getting the powered up eyes. I'll get into that in a minute. Something now that's always powered up is Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. Now that doesn't bother me too much because I've already got plenty of Mjolnirs and I've got another Stormbreaker on my shelf, so I wanted to mix and match on the display. I can. At least these two are unique in with this Thor, as I don't think we've had a blue Mjolnir and then definitely a half blue translucent Stormbreaker. But I'll zoom in and show you these in closer detail, and I'll compare them to the others that we have so far as well. I think we've even seen these effects before, which I mentioned previously as well. So I'll zoom in and show you all that, but let me move that out of the way because I first want to take a look at the man himself. So let's start at the head sculpt, and I do think this is a beautifully well done sculpt. I definitely see Chris Hemsworth there behind the beard and behind the hair. I like that we have the beard plait for the first time, but we do only see it during this version of Thor. The hair is nice and dangly as well, and it's like a little bit longer than we're usually seeing with Thor, and there's some nice detail in regards to the wash. There's some blondes and some browns in there. Round to the back as well, some of it sits over the cape, and there's a little bit of a burn up here at the top, but either way, it's nicely sculpted, lots of textures in there. And again, if you bring it around to the front, as I said, the hair sort of sits over the shoulders nicely, and then the beard is nicely done as well. Again, my only gripe, and again, it's a small gripe, is that we're only getting the powered up eyes. Now, I definitely see Chris Hemsworth in there, even without the painted eyes, but the eyes are just whited out to sort of represent him summoning Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in that final battle, and it looks great for that purpose. But if I just wanted to sort of display him with his normal Chris Hemsworth eyes, I unfortunately don't have that option. But I still think this is a great head sculpt. I'm just being greedy. I would have liked two of them, even if it is just painted eyes and not painted eyes. But still, for what it is beautiful, it is spot on, and you cannot deny from certain angles that is Thor, Chris Hemsworth, all day long. The next big difference with this Thor is, of course, that he's fat. He has clearly been eating all the pies, and we have Fat Thor. And the articulation is nicely hidden as well, because we get the newly sculpted fat belly, and then all the articulation is at this cut here at the top of the belly. And there is still some crunch there, back and forth, more than I expected as well. So that's nicely done. And even the design, all black, all this armor detail, all sculpted in there. It's all black, so it's hidden, but when the light hits it, you can sort of see it. Bit of a gold trim there. Got the chainmail on the arms, which are very nice. And you'll notice, completely pinless and double jointed elbows, which are very nice as well. So no complaints from me on that. Working down to the legs, you see the newly sculpted trousers. And again, completely pinless and a great double joint on the legs as well. Like, that is perfect. So considering how fat he is, still very flexible to Fat Thor. Again, some more texture there on the front of the knee pads, down to the boots, all newly sculpted. I do think this is genuinely just all new. The trousers may be the same from a previous Thor. As I said, we do have a lot of Thor figures. I will get them out for comparison in a minute. The cape is glued on. So the cape is glued on, but lift it up. There is some texture at the back, but obviously less detail, but still enough. Like, if you wanted to take the cape off, I can see a lot of people removing this, adding their own cloth cape, but this one sits nicely. You can see the creases in it are all good, and then it sort of sits just above the sort of ankles, so it's not going to sort of hinder him when you're posing him. Just that this Thor, unfortunately, seems to have one leg bigger than the other. Like, this leg seems to be a little longer, so I thought he had drop down thighs, but I can't seem to get him to drop down. So I do just think this particular Thor has one leg bigger than the other. So I don't know if you can see that, but I can definitely notice it when I'm trying to stand him. So sorry, Rich, but it looks like you've got a peg leg Thor. But still, chainmail arms look great, double jointed elbows, the beard and all that looks great. The cape is soft enough so it won't get in the way if you wanted to lift his leg back or articulate him backwards. But Thor doesn't do too much flying. But yeah, overall, this is a great looking Thor figure, and I'm looking forward to getting my own to pose as the big three. So of course we get Mjolnir, but this time the hammer is blue to sort of demonstrate it being hit by lightning and it's powered up. And we do get some lightning sort of silver effects here on the hammer all the way around it to sort of display that. And it does hit the light nicely and does demonstrate it being powered up. So I don't hate it, but if you like me would just prefer the standard hammer, then of course you can just grab one from your other Marvel Legends and get this Thor to hold that. So I will show you both in a minute. But yeah, it does seem like this new one is just a little bit bigger than the old one, or maybe it's just my mind's eye. But still, you get powered up Mjolnir, normal. It's basically the same as Stormbreaker, this time just without the silver sort of electric effects on here. We get the sort of blue gradient to white as it hits the blade, sort of a little bit translucent as well, but it works nicely to sort of demonstrate the axe being powered up. Of course, the handle is Groot, which is a nice little Easter egg for the MCU. But just like Mjolnir, if you didn't like the sort of powered up effect, you can just grab a Stormbreaker from the sort of other Marvel Legends and do some mixing and matching for displays. But it's nice to have options. That's why I'm not too mad at this Thor coming with these two, because these are two versions of these weapons we haven't had before. And people like doing ACBA, mixing up the display, having the same figure twice in a display. It's nice to have different poses. So yeah, not mad that we're getting the powered up weapons. So there we have Thor holding the weapons with those open grip hands, no problem at all. Left or right, doesn't matter which way around he holds them, he can hold them both very nicely. So he's holding up the powered weapons, now we need some powered up effects. So these we've seen before with another Thor, I believe these came with the Infinity War 3-pack version of Thor. So these, there's no rules people, you just sort of wrap them around the weapons like so. So there you go, as you can see, there's no real rule to it, it's just sort of wrap them around the weapons however works for you. But it does work with even the small hammer Mjolnir as well. So you can of course get both powered up effects on both hammers, and yeah, it works out nice for display. I do always appreciate a display where you can sort of add a little bit of life to it. So you can definitely do that with these flame effects, well, sort of electric effects, powered up lightning effects. He had Thor, the god of thunder, of course. So yeah, that looks good, doesn't look bad at all. And obviously a full image would be something like that. So yeah, Thor, looking good. And if you didn't want to use your powered up effects, then of course go and steal some weapons off your previous Thor figures and you can have the powered down versions of the weapons. The only disadvantage is we don't get a powered down version of the head. So this beautiful head sculpt will always have the powered up eyes. It's not terrible, I know I keep nagging about it. I would have just liked the option, that's all. Let's not forget he does come with a pair of interchangeable open palm hands, so he doesn't constantly have to be holding a weapon. Instead now he can be summoning some lightning or even summoning one of his weapons back, so you do have some options for posing on the shelf. And these hands are nice and big and do the justice. They've got some nice expression on them. So yeah, very nice, always appreciate options. So let's jump into some Thor comparisons. And because this guy was fatter, I just assumed him to be shorter and stumpier, but that's not really how it works. You don't get smaller as you get fatter. So this Thor is still quite tall. As you can see, he is just under maybe 7 inches, just under 7 inches, not quite there. So it is quite tall for a Marvel Legends, but those Thor figures have always been that way. If I bring in Lebowski Thor, and this is the version with the sunglasses on as well, you can see how they're just about the same height. Maybe the powered up Thor is a bit taller in the middle, but he is wearing boots, I suggest. And let's bring in the Infinity War Thor as well, and you can see he's still very tall. He's still probably the tallest, but all these Thor characters have always been very tall, especially in regards to MCU figures. And these are just a couple. I've got more. Here's Thors. 4 Thors. It's hard to say, trust me. We got Avengers 1 Thor, Ragnarok Thor, Infinity War Thor, and then of course Endgame Final Battle Thor. And one thing Marvel Legends have been is consistent with Thor being taller than your other legends. So no complaints with me on that. All of these are great versions of Thor. But which is your favourite? Which is your favourite movie with Thor in? Let me know in the comments. Let's just pause and take another look at Lebowski Thor, Lazy Thor, Bro Thor, whatever you want to call him, because that guy did actually come with 2 interchangeable heads, one with sunglasses and one without. Now, this guy doesn't have powered up eyes, so a few people have asked me, does it work on this body? Now, I don't even need to swap the heads. I can tell you it don't, because let's be honest, this isn't how he looked in this uniform. He had the plaited beard. This guy doesn't have the plaited beard, but I'll do it just for giggles. To answer your question, it does fit on this head. It's just this head doesn't fit this uniform, this body. So it will pop on there, but you won't want to display it. Trust me, this one, even with the powered up eyes, is too nice not to use. Now, this was the comparison I was interested in seeing. The MCU Big Three as they are last seen together during the final battle in Endgame. It is, of course, Captain America, Worthy Cap holding Mjolnir there in the middle, Mark 85, Iron Man, and then this new final battle Endgame version of Thor. And they scale great together, they look great together, and of course we are getting a brand new Mark 85 in this Infinity Saga lineup with the new Robert Downey Jr. head, which I think will look great with all of these. But for now, this will do. I can't wait to build out my epic Endgame display. Now we're starting to get these more accurate versions. Obviously, we've just got Pepper and Captain Marvel, so I will do a little picture, of course, a little comparison. But I do have this SH Figure Arts Mark 85 Iron Man with the Nova Studios custom head and gauntlet from the final battle. And again, this looks great. I can't wait to build some sort of Endgame display, but I just love seeing these final versions of the characters. It makes me sad that it's the final time together, but still, it's good that it happened and we now have it represented on plastic for our shelves. And as mentioned, here we have Thor compared to the Endgame accurate Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and Pepper Potts Rescue the Mark 49. And again, looking great. I can't wait to build that display. And for one final comparison, here we have Hellfire Hank, your average size Bucky Cat Marvel Legend comic figure compared to Thor. And that's right, you didn't know, did ya? But Hank is worthy! So final thoughts, I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again. This was the version of Thor I wanted once I seen Endgame. You see the movie, you come out of the cinema and you picture your displays at home, how you want that film to be represented in plastic on your shelf, and this was the version of Thor I wanted. The Dabrowski Bro Thor was a nice builder figure, a unique figure, but come on, this was the Thor I wanted representing the movie on my shelf with the big three as they take on Thanos for the final time together in that form. Will forever live in plastic on my shelf thanks to Marvel Legends. We've got Worthy Cap, we've got a couple of options for the Mark 85 now, but this is the only way to get the accurate looking Thor from Endgame Final Battle, and Hasbro have not let us down. Yes, it's all powered up, but it represents that moment where he summons both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker very nicely. It looks great once it's posed like this. I'm just greedy and would like more options. I would have liked an interchangeable head with the normalized so you can have more display setup options maybe, but again, I'm just greedy. What we got represents the source material beautifully. It's a very nice figure, completely pinless, new molding, great paintwork, great sculpting, no complaints from me, people. I love it. You let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you want to see more Infinity Saga reviews, then you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab. There's a playlist where I've already reviewed the Rescue and Captain Marvel 2-pack and then the Iron Man Mark 3, but obviously more will be coming very, very soon. So most importantly, you know what to do. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. You can also hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. I'm on Instagram at It's Dan Who. You can tweet me at Dan Who Reviews. But as always, my name is Dan W, and I will of course see you on the next one.